Hey guys, we just got in this pretty sweet setup. It's a John Deere X595 diesel with a 42-inch tiller, hydraulic tiller on the back. And we haven't had one of these in before. They're pretty neat, so I thought I'd make a video on it. This one is currently set up for reverse tilling, so it's spinning the opposite way you're going. I had one of these in for a GX345. If you look, it looks to me like you can swap things around. I haven't read up on the manual, but I imagine you can. Anyway, this one's currently set up to spin the opposite way. I had one on a GX345 that spun, the arrow went the other way. So, and it had a big frame underneath it. This one hooks up to a 3-point hitch on the back of the X595. This would be the same setup for X400 series, the X5, X595, X585, X700 series would have just a 3-point hitch like this, and yeah, so that is then connected to your lift and lower cylinder. So your hydraulic lift cylinder is back in there. I don't think I'm going to get a good picture of it, but it's back in there. And so the same lever that raises your deck would then raise and lower the tiller. This is a hydraulic tiller, so you don't need a PTO shaft. You don't need a rear PTO from the transaxle. Gosh, I've been working all day. My fingers are dirty. Anyway, it has an apparatus down here that hooks up to your mid-mount PTO. So I want to show, it seems like there are some different ways of attaching that mid-mount PTO, depending on what type of arms you have here. So it attaches to your mid PTO there, just like your mower deck does. I'm assuming that the drive shaft might be different. I don't know. But so it hooks up to your draft arms. This is the apparatus here. So it's hooked up to this one. This hooks up to your lift rock shaft, which is right here. There's your lift rock shaft. So yeah, it hooks in the other holes of your lift arms. So these yokes here that go up to your lift rock shaft, they go on the back holes of this lift arm. Okay. And then the bracket with the hydraulic pump goes to the forward holes. So that's on that side. There it is, hooked up to there. Looks like this thing's leaking a little bit right there. That's great. Oh, let's take a look around to the other side. On this side, again, this bracket hooks into this lift arm in the front hole. So that's what that is. And then this is, I didn't read the manual, but I'm assuming, and this is how I hooked it up, I'm assuming that this little extra appendage from this bracket goes through this hole in the frame. So that's what I did. So that holds it in place and keeps it from flopping around too much. I guess it still flops around quite a bit, but anyway, and then in order to turn this thing on, this machine just came in. The safety, we did notice that the safety switch is bypassed. So just a heads up on that. But so to turn your tiller on, you turn it on just like you would turn on your deck. Then we're showing we're going. Look at that. And then again, this is what raises and lowers it. So we thought that was a pretty neat thing. We just thought we'd show how we hooked it up. It looks like you could hook it up a couple of different ways depending on what you wanted your depth to be. Also, that's whenever I push down here, you might want to consider getting some back or some front weights or some suitcase weights to put on front. There's a lot of weight. That's a heavy tiller on there. But hey, we're gonna sell these separately. We're gonna be listing this tiller for sale and see if we can find a new home. It's not in perfect condition. We did notice some drips from down here, so we're dripping right here. Just a little leak. And then I thought I saw a dent. Yeah, there's a dent in the cap right there. So it's not perfect. It's been used, but thought it might come in handy for someone. In order for you to use this on your machine, I'm guessing that this fits like a John Deere 445 up through the X400s, X500s, and by X500 I specifically mean the X585 and X595. And then up into your X700s. But I think that if you have an X700 series, there's something about the arms that may be different. So you may have to get an additional bracket to hang that on there. But I'm pretty sure this will fit all of those. I'll double check that. I'll put that in the details below. But I think this will fit several different models. Again, you don't need a rear PTO for this 42-inch hydraulic tiller to work, because the hydraulic pump is run off of your mid-mount PTO, and that makes it go. So hey, that's an overview of this 42-inch hydraulic tiller. If you don't have a 3-point, you would need to install a 3-point. Those are for sale on eBay or Amazon, I think. Probably looking at like, I don't know what the price is. I know on the newer models, on these older models, the hydraulic lift cylinder is already where it needs to be. But on the newer models, you do have to move the hydraulic lift cylinder backwards. I know that much. It's not a horrible process, but there is a kit that you would need in order to install on the newer X700 series models. But yeah, in this X595, it's got the shaft-driven four-wheel drive. So there's the shaft going in there. It's not the hydraulic four-wheel drive. So it's got the shaft-driven four-wheel drive, selectable, and the 3-cylinder Yanmar diesel. These are pretty neat machines too. So no working hour meter on this, but anyway, pretty sweet setup. Thanks for watching.